Hey everyone, my name's Andy. I'll be your host today. We've got Kasper with us. Thanks for coming on, Kasper. Really appreciate it. He's known as Uselink INV on Twitter and YouTube. So thanks for coming on, Kasper. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. And I think we're in a good streak now. It's been like every 2 weeks for yeah for quite some time now. That's really I think it's a good period to do it. So that's
Cadence.
good.
Yeah, lots of stuff's going on right now too. So I wanted to bring you back on and talk about some of our favorite sectors and what you're seeing in those sectors. So how about we start with gold and silver? We've got a lot of stuff going on there. We've seen gold, I mean, just absolute vertical style for the past
Yeah.
couple of weeks. Silver, I know, has been we're at a critical level, I think, trying to break out. So, what are you seeing? What's your opinions around the gold and silver market? And if you want to talk ETFs too, that's up to you.
Yeah. I think before we look at the charts, as you mentioned, gold has actually been outperforming everything for, again, it broke out 1 year ago, but especially the past, 4 months, 6 months maybe, it has been outperforming basically everything, every metal, every index, and yeah, basically gone vertical. Uh, and I do believe that that also will be the name of the game for the next, 5 years, this decade at least. But I do also believe short term that we have seen a top in gold. It doesn't mean we will go down to 2,200 or whatever, but we will have a healthy 10, 15% correction maybe, and then we will maybe endure that for like a month or maybe two, and then we will slowly grind higher. So yeah, should we take a look?
Yeah, and here's one question right before we
Mhm.
jump in. Do you think gold is the leader of the commodity bull market? Do you think that's the case?
100%, 100%. It's like gold gold needs to show all the other guys like silver, platinum, wheat, whatever that that they are, we are in a commodity bull market. Gold leads the way, and then the rest will follow. Each, at different times, they will have their, big run up. But yeah, gold is leading, and I think we are up. How much are we up? Like 60% in a year. That's a massive amount. A bit scary though, gold being up 60%. But if that is the precursor to this next 5, 8 years worth of commodity bull market, I think we are in for a massive change in what to invest for. I mean, the past 15 years roughly, it has been tech, and now I think we will have 5, 10 years, give or take, for commodities to do really well. And gold has been showing the way basically. So yeah, 100% agree.
All right, let's dive into the gold chart and let's see what it has in store for the commodity sector.
Yeah, I mean, we again here I have I think this is the past 5 years for gold, and both you and I back in the day also were showing that hey, it's ready, it's go time. We have the big three here, and then we break on the fourth over there. Big inverted head and shoulders, a little flag at the end, textbook book stuff. So whenever you see a pattern like this on any time frame, that's usually a really bullish sign. And in this case, we were on a weekly time frame. So that whole consolidation pattern is like 3 years. So therefore, you again, when you pop, it's not over in like 2 weeks. You will have a very long run, and all target has been hit. And we had a little mini blow off top here. Like you can see here some doodles here, but that is I think the end of this whole trend here. We need to consolidate for some time, and then ultimately we will slowly grind higher. And the cool thing, I think during the next leg up, yeah, silver will be the better play at that point in time. Um, Of course, we need to wait for the confirmation, but you can even see today, even though gold is down, I think 10% in like 2 days, maybe 8%, silver is actually breaking out today. So there could be that rotation play here coming into the silver, but we still need to get above like 35 to really get the confirmation for silver. But yeah, I mean gold. If I mean we can zoom out long term here, it is a massively bullish bullish looking chart. Again, this is back to the 2000s. I mean, these patterns here, as you know, they are extremely, extremely powerful. And the measured move from here to there points to 8K, which I think we will reach, not tomorrow, don't get me wrong, but you will reach it, within 5 years. We will see 8K. And it sounds insane, but that's actually only 120%, whatever it is, away. So a little more than a double, which in this day and age is basically, yeah, not that much really. If you look at other stuff like crypto and whatever, they can double in 2 days. So why shouldn't gold be able to double in 3 years? So
Right. Yeah, so that's leading us, and it's already broken out and it's ripping. So I
yeah,
mean, this would be analogous to the breakout in 2000, 2001, right? Uh, a few years back.
yeah,
So and
and
then
even
all
more,
commodities ran in like 01, 02.
yeah.
So
But I will even say this is even more powerful. Again, we looked at this chart last time as well. Gold divided by inflation. We had that breakout in early 2024. That is the kickstart of commodities. Again, you're having gold outperforming inflation. Therefore, yeah, commodities, the bull run or the bull cycle, the big one here for commodity has started, and we will be in a period. If this pattern holds true, we will see 50 in this ratio roughly, and the breakout point was 8. So you will be in a very high inflationary environment, maybe like 5% on average, and you will actually have gold outperform that by a factor of 7 from the breakout point and roughly 5 from where we are today over the next 10 years or so. And yeah, that is big numbers, and gold will be way, way, way higher from where we are today.
so it'd be similar to the 70s then
Exactly.
versus
Yeah,
anything
exactly.
else.
Yeah.
And the two best performers in the 70s, I mean, precious metals did incredibly well, and then energy did incredibly well during that
Yeah.
time frame too. That's good. It's good.
Yeah, they go hand in hand, energy and precious metals, they go hand in hand, not simultaneously, but they are definitely trending with each other. So yeah.
So we've got bullish setups in gold here, massive breakouts in gold against the consumer price index, against the US dollar. What about silver?
Everything.
Silver, what are you seeing there? Why are you so bullish on silver?
We can do the silver chart here. I want to look at the very, very short term here. We are seeing, again, this is only like a month, so don't take it, for the big picture thing. But we just saw our gold basically drop 8%. And that's what is when you're actually having silver being up. Where are you? You are there, roughly 5%. So a huge divergence between those two. So we could, again, I say could because we have only seen 2 days of this, be at a place where people are starting to rotate. And one way that people are, playing that is the gold silver ratio, where you, in this case, basically you buy gold, you sell silver. They could start to flip that, so they go into buying silver and they sell gold. And we did have here we can zoom out a little bit here because we had a big pop in the ratio. And to me, the ratio here is a ratio that everyone should look at every week. It is you are seeing liquidity, you're seeing how stressed the system is. And funny enough, when Trump did this whole tariff news, that was actually also when we finally, well, not finally, because we want this one to go down, but that is when this thing popped and you saw every market tank big time. So whenever you see this ratio really go vertical, you're having the Nasdaq, you have gold, you have everything, oil, everything is tanking, and so it did. Um, and even though we have a little bit of a funky price action, you can clearly see the past 2 days here a complete reversal, where gold, yeah, as we mentioned, came down like 8% and silver's up 5%. So to me here, we're gonna close this gap. And when and if we start to trade below this whole cluster and the breakout point, so basically getting below like 88, that's when I'm confirmed that hey, silver uh, is uh, is most likely setting up for something really good. So the early signs are good, but I need a little bit more to be totally convinced because it is silver. It is very difficult to to get correct. One of the the more trickier ones because every time the US market is opening, you can just see the the shorting coming in for like 2 hours, really, really trying to push it down. But yeah, so early stuff, but potentially silver is starting potentially.
Yeah. So when it went up to about 100 and something, would you have bought it there, or would you say no, you wouldn't take that risk?
In this ratio or
Yes. Would you have bought in
no?
silver at that ratio up there?
No, I mean, I personally, again, I'm more of a I want to see the the topping pattern or the change of the trend to be confirmed.
Okay.
That's my way of doing it. So and this could be, we have had this move here, we went sideways for some time, and now we have completely reversed that whole thing. That's why I'm actually quite bullish on silver now because you will not be if you see this ratio drop here, that is always a place where silver will, yeah, of course, outperform, but it's never in a place where gold goes down and silver goes down less over a longer period of time. You don't see that. So it is a period where silver will do really good, and gold will stall uh, or do minor upward moves. So yeah. So no, I'm waiting for the confirmation, and I think even though this is short term, that this is potentially a good start for silver.
Because I mean, ultimately, when that breaks down, you'll probably be right around $35 an ounce on the breakout of the big picture for silver because we're
Yeah,
at
roughly. Yeah.
33.60 right now. So that's or somewhere around there, mid 30s,
Yeah,
late
yeah, a bit
30s.
north of 35, yeah. Is
Yep.
probably that's probably correct, yeah. And before we had that whole big surge in the ratio where, tariffs and all that, I also had
Mhm.
the level at like 88. What if we drop below there, again, that would have made me go massively more long in silver compared to gold. So again, the 88 is still my level to really be confirming that is also the case. But a good start is always nice.
Yeah, so we differ on our approach for
Yeah.
entries. I look at the ratio. If we get like above 100, I'm like, to me, I'm like I would buy that if it were me.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then I wait because I don't think that the ratio can stay up here for any length of time. But it makes sense. I mean, different approaches, different strategies, which is fine.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Um,
Both works again. If you have a strategy, it doesn't matter which one it is. If it works for you, I mean, who can blame you, right? So,
yeah, I seem to prioritize the value, like the
mhm.
ratio um, area versus like the breakout of a trend line or something, just different. And there's a lot of technical guys that they look for breakouts of lines and patterns and stuff.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, silver's looking good. You said 35 was a critical level before. Can we just take a quick look at silver priced in dollars and why you think 35 is such a critical level for people to watch?
yeah. I've just removed all the lines here. So basically, it is just the prior two highs that we have here.
Mhm.
And if we do a horizontal line, you can also see it is also, intersecting these highs over here. So we basically had a range back in 2011. That's where we broke down from and 100% confirmed the bear market from there. So that is why you can see here it says 35.4, but that is a big one to overcome. And above that, I don't see much, big structures, big, price resistance. So that is why, 35, maybe a tad north is you can see it here again. We are just cutting it over here. So uh, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, that
And there's
makes
also a
sense.
ratio that I want to show you if I can. I just need a little bit time to find it here. It's if I can remember correctly, no, 1 second, because it's actually quite good. It is actually, is it the CP? Yeah, let's remove all the doodles. And we looked at gold divided by inflation. Now we have silver divided by inflation. And you can see here, again, this is a bit higher, but again, once we start to take out these levels here, it's I mean that's to me similar-ish to the breakout what we saw in gold. Not quite as long-term time frame, but still it's a big one, and we need roughly. again, those 10%, like we talked about before on the ratio chart as well. So that is a big, big one to get past because it was the big breakdown moment in 2013. And ever there, you had this big bear market. So yeah, 10% roughly should mean that these ratios, the gold silver ratios, is breaking down heavily, and you have the ratio against inflation breaking out of a 15-year trend line horizontal resistance. So
Yeah, that's going to be a big move. A lot of people, they always ask, when you break out of these resistance areas, they'll ask me like, where's the next resistance after we break out? If I were to ask you that question, if silver does break out and we clear 35, 37, like we start going up, where do you think the next resistance is? And if we break 50, let's say we break 50, because 50 is going to be a resistance too. It's the two previous highs. How would you respond to what's the next resistance after 50?
there are, again, you don't have any price
Mm-hmm.
resistance, but then you can do Fibonacci's, you can do, measured moves, there are patterns that you can measure. So again, uh, I think that's a whole video in itself because there are many long-term, projections. You have short-term cup and handles, flags and all that is breaking out. So you can start to put in short-term targets and then you have longer term. So, um, but of course, anything above 50 means that there are no people underwater basically. So everyone is happy and just yay, we are finally in the green, and that is always a very good sign. But yeah, we need to get there first, and yeah, I do believe that roughly 50, excuse me, 35 is the magic number, maybe a tad higher. And from price action point of view, I don't see much from here. I know many people are talking 38, fair enough, but again, to me, it shouldn't be a huge deal to get past 38. And once you get into the 40s, I mean, you can easily see 50. Because as mentioned, we don't have many people, getting there hasn't been a lot of trading done up here. So there are basically no people that is, gonna sell until they reach that 50 level. So and also
Yep.
look at that hammer candle on the monthly. That is again, we still have what 5 trading days, but that is quite a big reversal all of a sudden here. So
It's good. It's looking good. All right. So let's switch. This a lot of gold and silver. We've got a lot of people who also like and watch uranium. We're
mhm.
seeing some price action occur in uranium. What are you seeing in uranium? Are you seeing positive developments or anything going on over there?
Actually, it's been a while since I've been able to say that on your show, but yeah, we have actually had the break that I have been alerting, people for the past, week or so is if we start to break out here, that is a very, very big downtrend that has been broken. And you can see it here. This is roughly a half a year where we had everyone was happy up here, me included. This is back in late 2024, and we basically had the URA getting cut almost in half, and that has been very, very painful. But finally, that whole downtrend here, you can see it there, is finally broken. We did hit massive support. There were three big support levels or trend lines down here at roughly 20. And ever since then, we have actually made that bottom. A little bit of a short-term head and shoulders as well. We're breaking out. So hopefully this matures. But so far, that is a really, really good start. And yeah, if you look at some of the tech side of uranium, SMR, Oklo, what have you, ASPI, and those guys, they are also doing tremendously well as we speak, breaking out as well. So it is not too bad. Finally, we are able to say that in uranium, but that's actually quite good, the price action that we are seeing today. Again, really short term, we have left a gap here. Will that get filled? If it does, I don't care. As long as we, continue the uptrend after that one, I don't really care. Let's fill it so we don't have to worry about it. But yeah, it's so
What
yeah,
about
good.
the the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust? That looked like it was making some good moves too, ready to break out anytime here.
Yeah, I mean the 1 year flag pattern which has been holding every, uranium bull in despair, It's pretty damn textbook, sorry for using a bad word, but it is very, very textbook. And if we zoom out, again, if we zoom way out here, it is actually a very, very, bullish setup. And we could see that internal break at the third impulse, which I know you like to do as well. You have these three impulses up or down. And the third one is usually the last one. You can have a fourth that is a big spill going vertical down. And you can see here that we have a high back from early 2025 that is potentially giving in here. And once we start to trade north of like 20 and change, we have broken the downtrend and we are back above the Trump, tariff gap down. And at that point in time, the next move is the upward trend line at roughly 24. And if we can break the flag, all of a sudden you have a very good scenario for uranium. But let's get there first. Again, we haven't even seen the breakout internally yet, but I do expect that to happen, given what we're seeing in ETFs, in the smaller uranium stocks and all that. I think we're going to see that breakout above roughly 20 should be the magic number for U.UN. So.
Yeah, if you backed out, when you back out, was that a cup and hand, was that a cup and a handle forming on the big picture view there? Oh, it kind of looked
It
like it when I,
Yeah, it could
nah,
it
okay.
could be even though it's it might be a little bit too wishful
Yeah,
thinking because it's so skewed, it's so imperfect. So I don't think it is, but yeah, it uh,
yeah,
it could have been, but the alignment, the symmetry is not good enough for me.
gotcha.
So yeah.
Okay. So next, let's dive into, is there anything else that you'd like to share on uranium first? Anything else?
No, I mean it's of course a good day to to have this video here because everything is in the green. But I
Yeah.
did again. You can also see here a market that is even worse than in uranium. That is the Australian guys, and they actually had a big day up yesterday before we saw the breakout today. So again, cool little thing to see the even worse markets. Maybe jump the gun in uranium. That's quite good to see. And one of the bigger players there, Paladin Energy, is up, yeah, 25% in one day. It has been down, from 16 to like 4, so it has been it has a long way to go. But that is again some early puzzles, pieces to the puzzles that might suggest we are finally seeing that leg up. But I think many people are waiting for the spot price to come up before going in because that is what everyone is looking at, the spot price of uranium. And if the U.UN starts to move, it will come up from where are we now? Like 60, is it 70, 65 or so? And we should start to see higher prices in the spot price as well. So yeah, my takeaway is anything north of like 20.2, and we have a breakout of the spot price within the flag. So not the big breakout, but at least some internal stuff like we saw over here, right? But at the third impulse, so that could be the end of that whole thing.
I know there's some other sectors that you wanted to hit, maybe perhaps in soft commodities. You said there were some things that look really good there. What are you
Yeah,
seeing over there?
if we can again, like the intro that we talked about, gold leading the way, and we're always talking oil, we're always talking, metals, what have you, rare earth, and all those stuff. But softs, in this case, corn, again, to me here, if we zoom in, this is the high actually 3 years ago. And that is a beautiful downtrend channel, in my view, getting ready to be broken here. So again, anything north of like 500 and corn should start to grind higher into those previous highs. Again, inflation coming, commodities um, are shown the way by gold, and corn is no different. It is most likely gonna do like a double here over the next year, maybe 9 months, maybe. So your bread and all that good stuff it is expensive now, but that will be even more expensive. Again, we are in a big inflationary period, and we have a long way to go, unfortunately. So
Yeah, yeah, that looks good. I mean, we're at the bottom end of that trend line coming up too, which I like. I like buying
yeah,
towards support
yeah,
areas of trend lines. Yeah,
yeah. And also, if you look at it like 5, 10 years out, again, this one to me here, if we get to there, you're gonna pull
huge.
back, you're gonna break on the fourth. I mean, we can do some measures as well. You take the lows here on top, and you can easily have, again, not tomorrow, but in 2030, whatever, you can see 2,200 here in the corn, and we are now at 400. That's a 5x. It's gonna be expensive to buy a loaf of bread at that point in time. So it's not going to be five. It's not going to be 1 to 1 where the price of a bread does 5x, but it could easily do through 2 or 2.5 based on these things here. So
It's going to go a lot higher, but I'm sure whatever Trump implements, that it will be just a perfectly. It'll go down by 90%. What he'll
yeah,
say,
exactly, exactly.
tweet it out.
It's gonna be free. So
Um, you said I think there was a couple. There was another sector that you wanted to share. It
yeah,
was
I mean,
coffee or
I
something.
love to drink coffee, and I don't know if you do,
Yeah,
but
this one.
again,
Yeah.
coffee is just again one of the. Is it the? It's water, I think, but the next one is coffee. Most liquid that is used by people. Or, but again, we are looking at what's that? 60 years, 50, 60 years of
Mhm.
basically sideways range, and we did break that in 2024 December. November, but anyways, it doesn't matter. Um, this is just the beginning for coffee to go way, way, way higher. It won't be in a straight line, but again, the measured move, if you take the entire height of the channel,
Channel. Mhm.
one way to measure that is you add it to the top of the breakout point, and you get again 2,000 on coffee, and we are now at 4. And I turned extremely bullish when we broke that 300 here. And yeah, there will be pullbacks and all that good stuff. But the long-term trend is set for coffee. It's going to be expensive it's going to be expensive to get your morning fix. That is for sure.
It's
Again,
great. That's gonna be like
it
$50 Starbucks coffees now.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I don't think I drink Starbucks, so I don't know the price, but it
I
will
don't
be
either.
way higher compared to what we buy that today. And I even have that little itching thought that this could do a cocoa. It could actually do a cocoa where you just basically don't get a pullback, a massive short squeeze, and then you just go higher every day, boom, boom, for a very long period of time. Um, because this was actually one of my best calls back in the day. I messed up the trade quite a bit. It doesn't matter because I didn't believe it would go so vertical. So I sold into that triangle high, and it just kept ripping. I mean, it's just incredible that again, the futures markets, in my opinion, were created in order to control price for as long as they could, as they can. But at some point in time, it's going to snap back and hit you hard in the face, like Coco did. And we will see, maybe not that, as aggressive, but we will see the suppression of price over the next 10 years in every single futures market uh, go up in price because they can't hold it down. Whatever they throw at it, it has diminishing returns more and more and more until it's gonna pop. So so
So what
yeah,
you're saying is you should start a new coffee squeeze going on here.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we have silver
Coffee squeeze.
squeeze,
Yeah, yeah,
coffee
yeah, for sure.
squeeze.
Yeah, I mean it's already starting, so it's yeah. And again, we have been talking about coffee like 6 months ago. Hey, this is it, but you won't hear anything on the news for like maybe like a year or two, and that's of course when the mainstream media starts to feel that extra price coming in. But actually, they are 3 years late. It happened 3 years ago, and they will find an excuse. It is like back harvest, crops, drought, whatever. But again, coffee is grown all around the world, and you can't have a drought in every country. So it is purely based on futures markets and coffee being controlled for 50 years, and finally now it wanna say some very bad words and just go higher. So
It's about to be unleashed.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah,
So now that we've gone through some of the soft commodities, we can talk oil. I mean, I always like oil. A
yeah. I know, I know, I know.
lot of
So,
people are bearish on oil, so
yeah, and
even
it
the
did also
better.
take a huge dump there. The Trump tariffs. I think it drops
Yeah.
20% in 23% in like a week. That is actually quite big. And what actually happened, and also a possibility that you and I talked about when we were inside of this whole triangle and we were at the apex here, we either break out and have the run, or we get a flush, and the first resistance will be roughly 55. The reason is that whole downtrend there. So roughly 55 was excuse me, the support, my bad. And we basically tagged it. Yeah, we went down to like 54. Fine. Um, and is the bottom over? I don't know yet. But we are seeing, some potential. This is 2 hourly, so again, take it as you may. But we are seeing some head and shoulders patterns here on the short-term time frame, breaking out some back testing. So again, this will take time to undo all that momentum in such a short time. Takes time to overcome if it wants to go higher. But but the funny thing is, the measured move from that, bottoming structure here points exactly to the point of the news, the tariff thing. And what you often see in a stock or an index or what have you, if you have some news that is pushing the price up quite heavily, you often get a revisit to that level. And then you see what happens because you're basically either having a little bit of a short-term short squeeze or a long squeeze because people are exiting. So you're actually taking a lot of buying very, very shortly, and then you have to come down to that level and just reset it all, and then you see if it is the real deal. Um, yeah, sure, we can tag it, and then okay, fair enough, it is the real deal. But the big battle will be if we get up to the big 72. Then it's going to be fun to watch what happens because then you're also at the breakout point again. So yeah, not convinced yet, but at least short term, we are seeing a bottom. Will it, morph into something longer term? Yeah, we have to wait a month or so at least to get that picture complete.
Have we ever in history had gold and oil diverge in opposite directions?
I haven't
And
done the
that's
the research, but on
yeah.
top of my head, no. So again,
So I'm in the camp that this is going to break higher, and that's a false breakdown. Because gold and oil are very interconnected,
yeah,
and gold ran massively, so it makes me think that oil's just going to be lagged behind it.
yeah, could be again. We can do that for next video. I can maybe prepare the correlation between those two, and
Mhm.
we can have a look to see the real numbers on that thesis. Sure, we can do that.
Mhm. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah,
What
exactly.
other sectors are you seeing out there that look either good or bad? Doesn't really matter. That you're following or watching.
Yeah, it's actually a commodity, and I can't remember if we talked about it last time, but we will do it anyways. And that is rhodium. Again, one of the most tiny markets that you can maybe possibly find in the commodity space. And again, just like we talked about on corn, actually you have soybeans as well. We looked at coffee. More or less all commodities is starting to wake up, and rhodium is in that boat as well. You can see here we broke in March 20, like a week, excuse me, a month ago, we broke, and we're actually short term here. If we zoom in here, we will do the 2 hourly, go to Heikin because otherwise you can't see anything. So no, we'll do the daily. So we have been breaking out and it's actually in a little wedge pattern going on here, most likely going higher. Again, probability wise. And all of a sudden you have something as boring as rhodium. Once we start to break out from 700 here, you have basically confirmed the bottom. So that is your stage one here, stage four downtrend, and you are entering the stage two uptrend over here. If I can do the correct numbers there. So yeah, rhodium, very excited about that market for sure.
Yeah, that's good. And do you think palladium will trade with rhodium? and platinum too? You think they're all going to go together?
I
Because
think they are. They
they're
are.
all
Yes,
yeah,
they're
they're
all
all
the
mined
same.
at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a company that mines uranium, they get rhodium, they get palladium. So yeah, I think it's going to be a mix. One fun thing could be to actually make a little bit of a like an ETF, where you have all these combined, like a one third each, and just see how if there's any patterns going on there. Because typically you can see something going on if you have if you make your own little ETF. So that I think we'll do. I will have that ready for you next time, and we can see if there's anything in that. So
Yeah, there's I just multiply them together. So I do
yeah, you can do that
palladium
as well.
times
Yeah.
rhodium times platinum. But it'd be interesting if you could chart like how they come out of the ground mined. Like you
Mm.
put some percentage times,
Yeah, yeah.
then multiply that by some percent. Then you could see what the cost. Basically, it'd be your producers. It'd be their
That's a good one.
charts.
I will
Yeah.
have that ready for in 2 weeks' time. That's a very good, funny little thing to look at for sure. For sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean that's kind of all I had wanting to ask you. Is there anything else that you'd like to add or anything else that you'd like to share that you're seeing in the markets?
Oh, I'm just going to go back to gold and just again,
Mhm.
yes, we're having a short-term pullback here, but the long-term trend is set. And if you play the long game, which I know you do, um, again, these 10%, 15% dips that you get in a bull market is meant to just stick it out or buy more when you see those again buy the dip like people have done for the past 15 years in tech. Um, and I think gold has led the way, and others is going to shine. Uh, Not all at once, but they will definitely flourish when the time comes.
Here's a question for you. Would you trade gold right now for silver because of the ratio?
Yes. If I had to give an answer, yes or no, yes, I would do that. Again, we were at 112 or 113. Again, let's check here just to be sure. And yes, like you talked about, anything above 100 and you have a long-term mindset, you should buy silver. Of course, again, and once we start to get below like maybe 30, that switches, then I want to have some more gold. We did peak at roughly 108, and we have seen a big reversal. So yeah, again, just like you said, anything above 100, again, you don't want to buy as much gold as you would have originally done. You want to have more silver. Um, so yeah, I agree. I would by far own silver here a lot more than gold. But I also know that silver is 2 times more volatile. So you have to be able to and acknowledge that the pullbacks that we get, hopefully when we see the run in silver, is going to be tough for the mind. Let's say it's going to be very, very volatile. But yeah, silver for sure now.
Okay, well, I mean that's all I've got, Casper. If you want to make any ending statements, you can go ahead and do that if you'd like, or not.
Yeah, last words here again. You can follow me at uselinkinv on the Substack, Twitter, and YouTube. That is where I put out my work for people to hopefully enjoy most of the time. So, and again, thank you for having me on, and let's do this 2 weeks, 3 weeks again.
Sure, sure. Yeah, thanks for coming on, Casper. Really appreciate it. Everybody in the comments section, thank him for coming on. Go, Casper, go. And that's all I've got for today, guys. So we'll catch you next time. See you guys.